Investigation and are now back listening to tapes of the incident at the police station. What happened earlier was this. An apparently failed drug transaction or drug sting operation was going on when the suspect, that is, tried to run from police. At the time, he tried to run 2 police officers down as he was leaving the parking lot. At that time, Huntsville police officers fired at the suspect and wounded him in the face. What happened then is he began a long, high-speed chase away from Huntsville police officers, and this is what it looked like to one eyewitness.
Well, I approached the intersection here this way, and it was with the light. I had the green light, and as I proceeded to go through the intersection, the officers ran the red light, and I struck the passenger side of their car.
What did they tell you happened?
They said that they were in pursuit of some drug suspects at the mall.
At that time, the drug suspect continued. Only 2 undercover police officers were injured in that incident, but they were only banged up. They never even went to the hospital. The suspect continued his high-speed lead of police and finally ended up in the Wall, Triana, and Browns Ferry Road intersection area where he was taken from his car, and then because of the gunshot to his face, he was life-flighted out of the area with the life flight ambulance and returned to Huntsville Hospital. At this time, police say that he is a white male in his early 40s. They didn't give us any details on the drug sting operation, but what they're saying is that it apparently went sour. The man tried to get away. No Huntsville police officers were injured in the chase, except for the 2 who were slightly banged up during the collision at the Wynn Drive and Bradford Drive area. And right now the suspect remains in Huntsville Hospital, where he is in guarded condition.
All right, thank you, Ken Craig, for that live report from Madison Square Mall. Meanwhile, the liquor licenses of 5 Huntsville Go-Go's are threatened tonight. They expire the end of this month, and the ABC board is determining whether they should be renewed. Huntsville police say repeated violations of the city's nudity ordinance is reason enough for the clubs to be shut down. Dave Hargrove reports.
Back in May, lounge owner Mikey Oakes told us he encourages his dancers to remove more clothing than legally allowed.
It's just business. It's business. I wish they'd let us go topless. It means more money for the state, too, if they was to. It means a lot more money for schools and other things that we need.
Tax money.
Tax money, yeah.
But today, while facing the State Alcoholic Beverage Control Board, Mikey took a more subdued stance.
If they do, what exactly is your policy relating to a violation of the rules?
You know, sometimes we'll send them home, and we'll let them come back, because you can't afford to farm them out.
Mikey is the owner of the club where dancers allegedly committed 11 violations of a city nudity ordinance, which prohibits baring of breasts, buttocks, and genitals. Other clubs facing the possibility of losing liquor licenses include the Showcase Lounge, Trudy's, the Gentleman's Choice, and Chick's Lounge. Huntsville police say they aren't just picking on the go-go clubs.
Players Club and Cheers have these Foxy Lady contests and what have you. We were also there because even though these are patrons coming out of the audience onto the stage under the city ordinance and what have you, they become performers at that time. And if they violate the nudity law, we make cases there. We were also there at all of those occurrences, and they didn't have any violation.
The ABC board says it will make a decision on the license renewals within 2 weeks. In Huntsville, Dave Hargrove, 31 Eyewitness News.
Some dancers told us they are sometimes forced to bear more than legally allowed by economic pressures. Many are paid a minimum wage base and make up the rest in tips, which increase the more their flesh is exposed. At least 2 club owners admitted many of the dancers would be on welfare if they didn't do this for a living. A 2-year-old lawsuit against the developer and blasting company of a southeast Huntsville neighborhood is finally settled out of court. Eyewitness News has learned the 2 sides have reached a $750,000 agreement. 34 families living near the Stonemark subdivision on Mathis Mountain sued a Birmingham blasting company and the Texas developer in 1988. Residents claimed blasting for the mountainside development damaged their homes. Some residents spent thousands of dollars in repairs. That daycare sex abuse trial in Moulton is winding down tonight. 51-year-old Bobby Dilbeck took the stand in her own defense this afternoon. She and her son Greg are accused of sodomizing and molesting the children placed in their care. Today, she denied the allegations against her. Our Shoals Bureau Chief Al Whitaker has been covering the trial and is live in our newsroom now. Al, were there any surprises in Mrs. Dilbeck's testimony?
No surprises, Heather, but a number of interesting points were covered during testimony today. For example, Mrs. Dilbeck told the court that she's had 2 operations, a hysterectomy and gallbladder surgery, and each left a rather sizable scar on her abdomen. However, the children that testified or told investigators that they had seen her in the nude never mentioned the fact that that scar was there. She was asked point blank if the allegations against her were true, to which she replied, no, they're not. She went on to say, and I'll quote here, I know of no events that would cause anybody to charge me like this. She said that for years she had dreamed of having her own daycare facility and that her husband Will had used much of his retirement money to put her in business. However, since her arrest in March, she says the family has had to file for bankruptcy. Now, earlier in the day today, Mrs. Dilbeck cried while her husband was on the stand and told the court that he loved her. He testified earlier, well, this morning actually, that he had he denied any knowledge of the alleged activities. He did acknowledge having his son Greg arrested a few years ago because he was drunk and unruly at home. And evidently that is the worst trouble with the law that Greg Dilbeck has been in prior to these allegations coming to light. Heather?
Al, you told me earlier that the trial is winding down.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, the attorneys tell us that Mrs. Dilbeck was to have been their last witness before they rest their case. As a matter of fact, as we were preparing to leave Moulton this afternoon, the defense attorneys were getting ready to show the jury yet another videotape. This one shot by one of the parents, evidently of a party at the Dilbeck home. No doubt to show the children confident and at ease around the Dilbecks. They say that they hope to finish presenting their case this afternoon. If so, the jury will hear closing arguments tomorrow and could begin their deliberations right after the lunch break tomorrow.
Okay, Al Whitaker from our newsroom, thanks. Still ahead on Eyewitness News, the latest on the Aryan Nation's attempt to relocate. Giles County may not be that new home, but that doesn't mean the group won't be moving to Tennessee. And some Huntsville police are writing a new beat, one in which they'll be keeping a close eye on you.
We saved a lot of money whenever we bought our Ford during clearance time.
We got a great clearance deal.
We really did.
Now get $2,600 total savings with $1,000 cash back on the #1 selling Ford Ranger during the factory authorized clearance. Or save a total of $2,400 on Ford F-150 with $600 cash back.
Now is a good time to buy.
Red carpet service and the best built American cars. Woody Anderson Ford, the American way home.
In nature, animals find all the nutrition they need in the foods they eat. It's an instinct. Unfortunately, most people don't seem to have the same instinct. That's why there's Nature Made, a complete line of vitamins and minerals with no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. After all, we may be the most intelligent life on the planet, but we're only human. Nature Made, the more you know, the better you'll feel.
The white supremacist group Aryan Nations may have given up on trying to relocate its headquarters from Idaho to Giles County. Tennessee investigators say their group has now set its sights on land in the eastern part of the state between Knoxville and Chattanooga. Eyewitness News investigative reporter Kirk Chason has the exclusive story.
White ball! White
When Aryan Nations members marched in Pulaski last October, agents with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said the organization was looking to buy land in Giles County, possibly to relocate their headquarters. Now TBI agents say the Aryan Nations has shifted its focus to land in McMinn County in eastern Tennessee. Aryan Nations founder Richard Butler denied any attempts to move the organization last year, and he could not be reached for comment today. TBI agents say Aryan Nations representatives have met twice in eastern Tennessee in the past 2 months or so. Sweetwater Police Chief Mike Jenkins confirms a white supremacist group calling itself the Christian Covenant met in that town about 5 weeks ago. He says there appeared to be no local residents at the meeting. One TBI agent says the publicity about the Aryan Nations' possible move to Giles County may be the reason for the new location. As he puts it, it's a chess game now. In Huntsville, Kirk Chason, 31 Eyewitness News.
Aryan Nation's leader Richard Butler recently told Eyewitness News that even though the group has dropped plans to march in Pulaski next month, they still hope to march there in January to protest Martin Luther King's birthday. Huntsville's Bray Spring Park is now the likely new site for a relocated senior center. This follows votes by the elderly who frequent the center and the board that governs it. 97% of the 350 seniors who voted prefer Bray Spring Park because of its recreational advantages. Final votes were tallied today. The city wants to put an art museum on the site currently occupied by the senior center. Senior center officials say they're willing to move because they can't expand in their current site. The city council is expected to hear a few protests of the move tomorrow night. It's the same site but a new building for the Huntsville Police K-9 unit. It's another comeback story following last November's tornado. The twister ripped through the K-9 training site on the city's old airport property. Fortunately, no one was injured. Today, a new mobile building was brought in and will be used as office space for the K-9 unit, which handles drug detection and crowd control. It'll take about 2 days to assemble the building, then K-9 officers can move in. The rough and tumble world of college football is getting really rough in Tennessee, which now needs some volunteers to pick up the slack for Chuck Webb. And will this heat slack off anytime soon? We'll see if Gary can volunteer any relief when Eyewitness News continues.
Now that summer's almost over, what better time to retire your old lawnmower? See your John Deere dealer for big savings on a high-performance John Deere rider with some of the best safety features in the business. See the STX with John Deere quality and reliability at a great low price. And try out a John Deere walk-behind mower with our 30-day no-risk return policy. For the summer's lowest prices on lawn care equipment, there's only one place to go. See your Tennessee River Valley John Deere Network dealer today.
It's a real sale. Landmark Chevrolet's having a real sale, a factory-authorized clearance sale all weekend and Labor Day. Here's why. We bought out the inventories of 2 overstocked Chevy dealers, and Chevrolet has given Landmark the go-ahead to cut prices and liquidate the inventories. You'll find savings like you've never seen before on Chevy cars, trucks, and vans. We'll be open late all weekend and Labor Day as we liquidate the inventories of 2 overstocked Chevrolet dealerships. Just try us. Landmark Chevrolet. We're having a real sale.
Jamie told Bobby, Bobby told Sue, you better run for the border. Now I'm telling you, 59 cents, 59 cents. Tacos and burritos at Tostadas and more. 59 cents, 59 cents. Taco Bell has it all the food that you love. And if you're paying more, then you're paying too much. Run for the border, Taco Bell.
And remember, at Taco Bell, Pepsi's cold and the refills are free.
Beautiful sunset in this picture, and not hazy.
It's certainly taken at an earlier time than the last few weeks.
Yeah.
It's time for People's Tires and Service Company's Picture the Tennessee Valley contest. Because of Labor Day Monday, we moved it to this evening. Lynn Smiley Anderson of Madison, Alabama. That is a beautiful, perfect summer sunset at the South Huntsville Airport. That's right across the river. That's where Fast Eddie jumps out of his airplane a lot.
Is that right?
That's a beautiful shot, and we appreciate it. Lynn Smiley Anderson of Madison, Alabama. You're our weekly winner on the People's Tires Service Company's Picture the Tennessee Valley contest. Now, Lynn, or Smiley, whatever they call you, took that picture by one of these locations of People's Tires. They handed Lynn a coupon booklet worth $66 in value, and now qualifies for the grand prize that we're going to be giving away pretty soon of a set of tires value up to $800. All you got to do is go by People's Tires and Service and take them your favorite photograph. Picture the Tennessee Valley. We'll be back next Monday at 6 with our regular time on the contest. 99 degrees, record high today, Huntsville, Decatur, Athens. It's 96 out there right now. That is as hot as it's ever been on this day before, but we hit it up to 99. 1960 was the day it hit 96 before. 74 start this morning. Easterly breeze, 6 miles an hour. Humidity's at 30%. Barometer at 30.08. Super radar to show a scattering of wet weather, especially from Louisiana up to the Ohio Valley. But here in the Tennessee Valley, once again, just a few scattered showers down in the southwestern corner toward Franklin County and down toward Marion County. That's about it. Those are moving southwestward away from the rest of us, so it does not look like any relief tonight from the haziness and the mugginess out there. High pressure, really strong ridge setting across the southern tier states here. All the wet weather makers far to our north. Severe storm watches in effect for Wisconsin tonight, also for parts of Texas, but all we have is severe muggy alert across the Tennessee Valley. There is a heat alert up in the Ohio Valley up around Indiana. Truckee, California, cold spot in the country this morning at 31 degrees. And they are getting some showers up in the northeastern part of the country. Tomorrow, same old high pressure ridge giving us the same old kind of day. Only a slight chance of any relief in the form of a scattered shower. Otherwise, hazy sun, probably 100 degrees tomorrow. Hit 99 today. Bright moonshine tonight, down to 74 degrees. Last night was the official full moon. Tomorrow, sunshine, hazy, muggy, a high of 100. A heat index could hit 105 to 110.
Good grief.
The haziness hanging on for a couple of days. A bit of relief in the offing for the weekend as temperatures plummet to the low 90s.
Plummet?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
From 100.
That hoits.
I know.
School is back in session across the Tennessee Valley, and that means the wild and woolly weatherman is on the road again. And today I was at Union Hill School, high atop Brindley Mountain in Morgan County, talking to the 6th graders. And those kids, we had a great time over there today, and they had lots of good questions for me. You know, I really appreciate the teachers calling me this early in the school season to talk about talking with the kids, because my calendar gets real full towards the end of the school year. So I would invite everybody to give me a call. Check this cake out they had for us.
Yay.
Heather said, "Oh boy, it's time for cakes."
It's school time. That's why we like it around here.
I'll have some more
Thanks,
pictures of
Gary.
them in the morning on Way Too Early, so join me for that.
All right.
Everybody's wondering what Tennessee's going to do without Chuck Webb.
Cross their fingers and hope they can find somebody else that can really run the football for Tennessee. But they have some other weapons up there. But we have some bad news for Tennessee fans, including Chuck Webb. He got the worst news of all. We'll also be talking about the new $1 million man out on the water.
Transport facilities, that would be more